Gentlemen, we are gathered here today to discuss the actions of General Dyer at the Amritsar Massacre on the 13th of April.
General Dyer, why did you find it necessary to fire at your unarmed crowd?
Well, not only breaking the curfew, but they were also breaking the ban on group meetings. Is it correct you ordered your troops to fire at the thickest parts of the crowd? That is so. A small amount of firing would be a criminal act. 1,500 casualties with 1,650 bullets?
Supposing the passage to the garden was sufficient to allow the armoured cars to go in, would you have opened fire with the machine guns?
I think probably, yes.
In that case, the number of casualties would have been much higher.
Yes. I went with the deliberate intention of opening fire if I found a crowd gathered there.
General Dyer, were you aware there were women and children in the crowd?
Correct.
And that was relevant to you?
Again, yes. The moral lesson learned at Amritsar will forever outweigh any loss of life. If I was to disperse the crowd without firing, they would come back at a later date, laughing, and I would have made what I consider a fool of myself. So you regret none of it? The only regret is running out of ammunition. More deaths would help amplify the message I teach throughout India.
We must consider, gentlemen, that if it weren't for the actions of Dyer, we would be in a deliberately worse state of rebellion.
But there was no violence embarked to begin with, and many of the deaths and casualties were innocent civilians. What occurred was an abuse of power by Dyer. Furthermore, although we may have prevented a rebellion at Amritsar, we have fueled the anti-imperialistic movement throughout the rest of India. In fact, this event almost certainly gained the attention of a Mahatma Gandhi.
General Dyer, the fact that you did not attempt to peacefully disperse the crowd prior is a grave error. I agree with our Secretary of State of War, Winston Churchill, when he described this massacre to be monstrous. You've highlighted to the rest of the world the problems within our rule of India, and despite us being unable to impose any penal actions on you, we sure hope those higher up than us do. This meeting is dismissed.